Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to the Eyewitness Show with Nikki George. Today, we have a very, very special guest, Toyinda Smith Clark. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's Toyinda Smith Carter. I am well. I am well today.
Awesome, awesome. I'm sorry about that,
It's
but
okay.
yes, I wanted you to before we get too far gone, I just want you to introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are.
Absolutely. So, hello, everybody in this community. I'm super excited to be here. I never take any of these opportunities lightly. So, thank you, Nikki, for inviting me here today. Listen, everybody, I am Toyinda Smith Carter, and I am a best-selling author, a business consultant, master coach, public speaker, mentor, and TEDx speaker. And most importantly, I am a daughter of the King. I am in sonship. I'm standing in my position as a son, and we know that that is not. Gender specific, but I am a child of the Most High God, and so I bless the Lord for Jesus the Christ. I'm a founder of Toyinda Lachey Ministries, and our ministry is all about making sure the kingdom is expanded. Okay, we're kingdom builders, and so we teach, intercede, and use our prophetic voices so that kingdom citizens can really live from a place of faith, access prosperity and abundance, and live according to biblical principles with authority and maturity. So, in a nutshell, that's me. I also don't know how deep you want me to go, but I'm also the principal at the Coaching Seat LLC, and it's really our aim in that company to provide learning and development for organizations. We love to create cultures of coaching, communication, and collaboration. And then, in addition to that, I'm all about economic empowerment. So, especially for entrepreneurs who are a part of historically underrepresented populations. And we've created a credentialing, coaching, and facilitating, and also speaking program to help them to really advance and generate revenue so that they can have financial freedom and sustainability. And I'm also doing that for myself. So it's super, super, super important. So I don't know how deep you want me to go into that. Let me know if you want me to expand.
That's great. We're going to get into it, especially
Okay.
about the authorship, these books that you've written. I definitely want to dive
Mhm.
into that. So tell us, how did you come to Christ?
Absolutely. So, born and raised in church, in the Kojic Church, Church of God in Christ, and I'm from Indiana. So, our church was in the Indiana area, and it's in our background, it's in our family lineage where we believe in Jesus the Christ, and we believe in honoring and reverencing Him through being a living sacrifice. And so you're going to church. so it was in my DNA, born and raised. But the real question is, when did I come into relationship with Christ? So I
Yes.
came into relationship with Christ, I would say, like, I made a commitment to Christ in 2012. Around 2012, 2013, I was living in West Lafayette, Indiana, and I went to a fivefold ministry. And listen, as soon as I walk in the door, the man of God is like, woman of God, I hear the Lord saying you got to make a decision." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to make a decision, right? Because what we were brought up in is that you're either in or you're out, and you're not
Hmm.
going to play with this thing." And so
Right.
I wasn't willing. Yes, Lord. I wasn't willing to say, "Lord, I put my agenda on the side for you. I put the things that I want to do on the side for you." So I would be out. And but that day he said, "Listen, you got to make a decision." And so that was the day that I got into real relationship, and the ability to begin to grow the relationship with Jesus the Christ. And it's been a journey ever since. So I moved from Indiana to South Carolina in 2015, and I connected with the church there And right around 2016, 2015, late 2015, 2016, excuse the background noise, I was rebaptized and really solidifying the commitment to Christ in that space. So that's really how I came to Christ. And it's a daily, I'm daily dying to myself. I'm daily making a further commitment. I'm daily giving the Lord a further yes. And so it's a relationship that is continuing to be built daily.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. So I hope everybody that's listening out there, you can see the impact of a life that is surrendered to God. And so why do you think that God has called you?
Yeah, so he's called me to be one that would create champions. I like to say that it's very important because champions, they do the work and we win in every aspect of our lives, regardless of what's happening around us. Now we're going to go through little emotional battles, but we sober up quickly when we know that the Lord loves us, when we know that the Lord has already spoken of the good things over our lives. He's already spoken good prophecies, and those are the prophecies that we will begin to rehearse. I mean, the Bible is full of prophecy. And so because of that, I'm able to live, a full life. Even when challenges come, I'm able to still live a full life. So God's called me to create champions in every single area of life: business, professional, spiritual, personal, in every single area of life. He's done that. And listen, when I share with you all that, ministry and church was in our lineage, many of my family members did not answer the call. See, there's a difference there, right? And so our generation, my sisters, our generation, we went on and answered the call. See, my granddaddy, this is my maternal grandfather. People would say, we don't mess with him because he can tell people things. He knows things, right? So my granddaddy wasn't using what the Lord had put on the inside of him to minister to people. It was being used in a different way. And so the grandkids are now using the prophetic influence. We're prophetic solutionists. We are those that are called to push people forward. We're using ours in the right domain, in the right manner. So we answered the call.
That's awesome, because I was going to get into that as well, that prophetic piece, because I just told her a few minutes ago, I purchased your books at the conference that we were attended just recently, Boss Lady.
Yes.
And I didn't realize about 5 o'clock this morning when I was into the second book that she had written a word in the book to me from the Lord. And I knew it was from the Lord because it's what God has been speaking to me. So it confirmed. And I just wanted to I was so thankful. I was like, okay, it's too early to be loud and boisterous. But in my spirit, I was so joyful because that really brought life to me, as far as I know that this is what God is saying. And so the prophetic is very important in this hour to encourage and uplift the body of Christ. When God is calling you to a business, or he's calling you, to help others, like as you're doing, then that becomes so important. So that is such a great tool. I want to take a minute before I ask you the next question and just greet some of the people that have chimed in here. MLG says, champions do the work.
Listen, baby, we do the work. You hear?
Joy says, good evening.
Good evening.
Colette says, prophetic solutionist.
Yes,
we can hashtag that one, can't we? So awesome. So let's see, what that says, you're talking to me. So awesome. So getting into that coaching and author piece, why do you think that coaching is important?
Absolutely. So taking a coaching approach to working with individuals, it really is the most effective vehicle to transformation. See, because with coaching, we give individuals an opportunity to pull out what God already placed on the inside of you. Now, if I'm in a corporate space, I'm not going to use that term, but there are answers already on the inside of individuals, personal, professional, spiritual, wherever we are in whatever setting, the Lord has already given us everything that pertains to God and to living, right? And so we're able to ask the right, meaningful questions, the questions that matter to the individual, and it begins to open them up. Coaching is very empowering. When we tell people what to do, it's very disempowering. And so what happens is we got to depend on the prophet. We got to depend on our director. We got to depend on our trusted advisor to give us answers when we have it already on the inside of us. We were built from creativity. We are words that are being sent out of the mouth of God, and we won't return void. Why? Because God is sending us to a place to produce. Now, I don't know if I need to stay in a corporate hat or if the ministry is coming, but I feel God right now.
Okay. Oh, me too. Okay. And listen, you flow how you want to flow. Yes. I perceive that people need to take out their paper and pens and take some notes, because you are dropping wisdom and knowledge for, marketplace, for business, for ministry, for, even, your home.
Yes.
So, yes. So you have a mantra. What is your mantra?
My mantra is champions do the work, and specifically it is champions consistently persist. Practice honorable behavior, press until they reach new levels of excellence, and they pull until they obtain the victory. Another saying is that you have to understand your why. And once you understand your why, the pressure in the pursuit becomes worth it. So I don't know which one you read, but listen, we flow in that space all the time. And it's very important that we must keep going. We must pursue. We must be in pursuit. And if we follow the life of Jesus, he was in pursuit to do what the Father had designed him to do. Mm-hmm. And so what did the Father design you to do? That's the question that you have to answer. That's the coaching question that you have to answer, because once you understand that, you'll be able to apply the right activity to that goal. What did the Father tell you to do?
Wow. And see, so many people have potential. Mm-hmm. And I like the title of your book was to unleash your potential. Now, why did you write that book? Just tell us a bit about it.
Absolutely. That book came out in a time in my life, right before that book came out, you all, I experienced my second divorce. Now, you got to understand, my background is being a real life champion. I mean, I was winning on Purdue University's campus, honey. Listen, I'm an 8-time Big Ten medalist, a national champion. I'm in Purdue's Hall of Fame, but my mind was telling me, the stronghold, listen, the error in thinking said, listen, you twice divorced now, honey. You can't even, you were this big champion, but you can't even keep a marriage. You can't keep a man. Come on. So I was dealing with a lot of emotional issues, emotional concerns, and I was confused about whether the Father loved me or not. Wow. And so in that, I said, after this second divorce, I'm moving to South Carolina. I moved to Hartsville, South Carolina, where I knew one person. And the Lord lured me here for track and field, because I told you to love her some track and field. And so he lured me here to be listen to this, volunteer coach. And then when I got here, I had interviewed, and the Lord opened up a door for me to teach public speaking at the university that was on campus. Don't ask me if I have a background, and my degree is in public. Don't ask that, because God will qualify you. So don't start asking no questions. So I came here as a volunteer, and the Lord allowed me to be an adjunct faculty for a university in the area to teach public speaking. And so from that place, I was able to listen. I brought brought my business with me, and I said, Lord, I got to do business until you come. Come on, scripture says, I need you to occupy until I come. So I had to do business until the Lord, listen, until the Lord comes. And so in that, I was able I was sitting on the side of my bed, you all, and I was crying out to the Lord. I said, Lord, I just need some gas money, because the money that I was bringing in wasn't enough to make ends meet. I had two children that were adolescents at that time. And I said, God, I just need some gas money. So I was sitting on the side of my bed crying out like, I just need some gas money. I just don't know what you want me to do. And you told me to come here. You know how we do. We get drunk in emotions. No, God,
real life.
I need you to sober up. And in my sobriety, the Lord began to download into me what I needed to do. So I connected with a person who had access. Okay, listen, drop this in the chat. You need to connect with people who have access to what you need. So I connected with a person who had access. I came and I implemented a business workshop for entrepreneurs that basically talked about 6 steps to unleash the potential in business. So a year later, now listen, I'm just doing my thing. A year later, I see one of the people who participated in that workshop, and he says, Toyinda, your workshop, I'm following the steps, and that workshop helped to jumpstart, come on, my insurance business for the first 2 quarters. This was a year later. And that's the importance of doing evaluations. Come on, y'all. Evaluations after you do a thing. So he gave me an evaluation. And I said, Lord, listen, that thing must have been really, really good. So the Lord started talking to me about packaging this in a book. And so I put it in a book. And again, I started off by saying, Lord, I just need some gas money. Okay, listen, I just need some gas money. Because I was in a place where $25 was either, do you want to go to the banquet or do you want to put gas in this tank? I was in that kind of place. And so after that, I wrote the book. And let me tell you, that book changed so many lives. And it's about unleashing potential, going from stagnation, staleness, and suppression. Can I do it again? Moving from stagnation, staleness, and suppression to achievement by following a structure. See, sometimes we need structure. The Bible is structure. We need structure to be successful. We need structure to move from successful to creating significance in other people's lives. So we need structure. So I'm a woman that gives structure because I follow patterns. The reason why I'm in Purdue's Athletic Hall of Fame is because I understood how to follow a pattern in my throws. And so we work in patterns. And from that came that book. And so one of the biggest questions that you have to ask yourself is, what is likely to happen? Because potential is something that's peering out. It's not quite out. It's something likely to happen. So you've got to be able to identify and articulate what's likely to happen in your life, regardless of the conditions, regardless of the circumstances. I told you that I did not have enough money to make it. If I would have stayed in my emotional drunkenness, I would not have anything that I have right now. Because let me tell you, the hits come, especially when you agree. Listen, when you decide to be decided, when you agree with what God told you, when you answer the call, hits will come. But he gives us he makes a way of escape because he's faithful. So he gives us the solutions to be able to maneuver through those types of spaces so that we can be creative. Because in the beginning, God created. He made us a fresh creating. Listen, I just went to a conference and Dr. Spake talked about that. God made us a fresh creating. So in the beginning, God created. So your expectation is to create. My expectation is to create.
Wow. I hope y'all heard that testimony. That was a powerful testimony. She said, even in her, drunken state, God sobered her up.
Yes, Lord.
She cried out to him. He answered her. And she took the faith and the courage to move to another city and began
A
to
whole nother
take
state.
steps, a whole other state, and begin to take steps. Wow. So tell us one or two of the practical steps that people can take to unleash their potential.
Unleash your potential. So number one, you have to sit down in a quiet place and think. And so a lot of times we get very distracted with our attention. Our attention is easily pulled because this name is doing this, or this is happening down the street, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to really sit down in a quiet place and think about what you want. And some of that is we should not be participating in things that do not advance our goals, they do not advance our vision, because that means that you're wasting time. And we understand that life is but a vapor. Yeah. So when you think about unleashing potential, the first practical step is to sit down, sit your tail down, sat down, over they. That's what the South Carolina people say, over they. Sit down over there and really just think and allow the Lord to download into you your next step, or the strategy that you need, or what he is designed for you from that Jeremiah 29:11. So you have to sit down and think about what. Listen, my older sister is a therapist, and she says, listen, you need to think about what you're thinking about. So yeah, let's sit down and think about what it is that we want to do. Identify that thing, articulate that thing, and then prepare yourself for doing the work. The second practical step is to write. So you're thinking on paper when you write, okay? So if we move through the steps, my favorite step, because you asked for two and I want to do this. So the first step is to think. And if I take you down to the fourth step, is enlisting the help of people. People, because you are willing to create a narrative from your sound, enlisting the help of people is going to help you, because they're going to become your vision pushers. But it's not necessarily about who you know, but it's about who knows what you know. Because when people know what you know, then they can take that into different atmospheres that you're not a part of, and bring your name forth, bring your business forth, bring what you carry forth. So enlisting the help of vision pushers, that is my most favorite step. And that's one of the steps. So the first step is to think, and I'm, y'all got to get the book. Go to my website, thecoachingseat.com, to get it. But that fourth practical step is to enlist the help of vision pushers, enlist the help of people that have access, that can help you get to what you need.
Yes. So just a minute, I'm going to show everybody your book.
Oh,
that is the book. It's on Amazon. Yes. Unleash Your Potential. And you all, I can verify, you're going to have some work to do here, but it's good work. It's good work. And then she says, be specific. So
be specific,
you really, so you really are going to have to think, but it's good, because she's drawing out the potential in you. So so awesome. And I also want to give you all an opportunity. If you have questions that you want to answer, just put it in the chat, and we can ask Toyinda these questions. All right. So your next book was Dominate Your Confidence. What is the message that you wanted to get across in that book?
Yeah, the message is that once you unleash your potential, you may experience a place of fear in some areas. So for me, when I unleashed my potential, individuals were calling on me to do things. Toyinda, I want you to moderate this panel. Toyinda, I want you to come to Amazon, literally come to Amazon and speak to our affinity groups. I want you to come to this university. We want to use your book, because that Unleash book was used as a student success book at a university. And so these things were happening, and I was just like, "Oh my goodness!" These are the things that you prayed for. These are the things that you asked the Lord for. And so, at each juncture, He's got to increase you so that you can handle the altitude. At each juncture. So he opened up those opportunities for me, and I began to pull back. So I'm like, I don't know if I belong here. I don't know, And so what I had to deal with is my vantage. So in the book, Dominate Your Confidence is 4 V's. I had to deal with my vantage. That was how I saw myself, my outlook. Okay. The second V I had to deal with was my voice. When I walk into atmospheres and it's time for me to speak, honey, you've got to bring your expertise to the table and not go back to what happened to us ladies when we were growing up, that girls should be seen and not heard, right? So I had to deal with that. No, God says, no, I want you to use your voice. I want you to articulate your voice because your sound solves for a specific set of people. Wow. And when you don't use your sound, then your people begin to wander in the wilderness, and that's not fair. So you have to use your sound. So I was battling with that. So first I'm battling with how I saw myself, my vantage. Then I'm battling with my sound, if I'm going to use my voice in this room, right? And then I begin to battle with my visibility. Toyinda, are you going to walk into a location and are you going to sit in the back of the room? Are you not going to sit at the table that was prepared for you? How are you dressed? Are you dressed appropriately for where you're going, not for how you feel it? Based on how I was feeling. If I was not having a good day, honey, I'm in my jogging pants, So I had to look at my visibility and understand that no, I have a seat at this table. And listen, I'm one that'll create a table in a minute. But I was being invited to the table, and so I had to be visibly appealing to the table because people see you before they say you said anything. So I'm walking in the room with my tall self, and I'm coming in with command presence intentionally. The other thing that just came to mind, it just slipped my mind. Lord have mercy. He'll give it back to me. But it had to do with the
how you show up.
Yeah. The visibility and the command presence in the room. He'll bring it back to me. But visibility is necessary. It's important to us being able to have access. And then that last V I had to deal with was my vigor. So how I use my time and not having to people please. I'm a recovering people pleaser, right? Because I didn't like to tell people no. I didn't like to let people down. And that was tied into my lack of perceived love. Okay, because when I said yes to people, they were like, "Oh, Toyinda is great. She's great," and that was fueling me. And so I had to understand, no, baby, you got to get healing in that space. So with those 4 V's, I really had to begin to attack that area and denounce, renounce, disallow, disengage, or disallow and disengage some of those things that were coming up to be a hindrance for me. So what we really have to do, we could throw that whole book out, and what we really have to do to dominate our confidence is deal with unmet needs, unresolved issues, and unhealed hurts. And I put that in the back. That's the last chapter. So I said, listen, scrap all this stuff. We got to deal with these 3 things. So really, to unleash your potential, you're going to have to do with I call them the 3 uns, 3 UN apostrophe S, the 3 uns. Okay. But the other stuff we need it. But to really get in there to dominate, which the Lord calls us to dominate, reign, rule, produce, multiply, subdue the things that come to do us, we have to deal with the unmet needs, the unresolved issues, and the unhealed hurts.
Awesome.
I know what I wanted to say for visibility. When I was competing as an athlete, I would call home and tell my mama, I said, Mom, they taking me to the meet with the big girls. And my mother said, you're one of the big girls.
Whoa, paradigm shift.
When I tell you, it shifted the paradigm, it shifted the deeply seated belief system that I had about who I was. That was a game changer for me. So that's a part of the visibility and the vantage as well.
That's powerful. Okay, you guys, there's the book, Dominate Your Confidence. Now, y'all hear all this wisdom and all these nuggets that she's pouring out here. So when you get the book, you're going to, it's laid out there. So, yeah.
And listen,
Awesome.
Nikki, I want
Mhm.
to, if you would allow me, I want to encourage people to go to my website to buy the book.
Mhm.
And this is why
Okay.
I simply receive more resources into my home when you purchase it from my website. As when you purchase it from Amazon, Amazon,
They
yeah,
get their
they
cut.
have to get their cut. Listen, we all eating, okay? But
Yeah.
when you go to my website, thecoachingseat.com, and purchase my products and my books, then that comes into the house. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to mention it. But
Okay.
if you get it from Amazon, it is well. It is well. If that's easier for you, it is
Amen.
well.
Thecoachingseat.com. All right. I put that in the
Uh-huh.
comments. Okay.
Thecoachingseat.com. Yes,
All right.
thecoachingseat.com.
So
Absolutely.
awesome. Awesome. So you guys go out and get that book. You're gonna grow. You're gonna grow.
Mhm.
Okay. And so that brings us to the your third book, three-time author. Okay, and that's
Woo!
what I titled really this session today was encourage yourself, because I got
Yes.
it, because you're saying coach yourself, but I
Mhm.
know it's those are kind of going hand in hand. Tell me, why did you write this book?
Absolutely. So this book was birthed out of a space of when when I was eliminated from a position. Okay, I had transitioned from one state to the next, specifically for a position where I did really some awesome work.
Mhm,
My performance reviews were awesome and amazing, you all.
mhm,
But let me tell you what didn't work for me: the direct communication that wasn't working.
mm,
Me being having a gregarious personality, me being very assertive, that wasn't working in that environment. And it is well, right? Because God knew what would
mhm,
happen in my pathway. And so this book was birthed out of when that kind of shift happened for me recently, January 2024. Let me make sure you all understand this. January 2024, you have to begin to self-adjust it. Please excuse me. I'm in a business environment. I'm so sorry.
it's fine.
But you have to be able to self-adjust. You have to be able to self-coach so that you can begin to get back in alignment and get back on track. So,
Mhm,
so what I had to do in this space is ask myself, what opportunities arise? And I want you all to deal with this when things do not go. What opportunities arise when, number one, when life goes wrong,
mhm,
when plans fail, and when you're not a good fit? Come on. You
mm,
when things are not as you expected, you've got to get into a coach mode and ask yourself that question and then do the work to solve it. So
mhm,
because life was going wrong, plans had failed, and I wasn't a good fit, the opportunity for me was to get this book completed. I was
mhm,
able to get the handbook to coach yourself completed. And
mhm,
this book was born out of that. And what I'm doing in the book is I'm teaching I'm a teacher, I'm an educator. I'm
mhm,
teaching individuals to teaching them methods to break through barriers. Come on,
mhm,
come on. COVID came, something else is coming. You've got to be able to break through every barrier to facilitate progress in your life. When I say
mhm.
progress facilitation, that means that you're not stagnant. That means that you're not standing in a paralytic state. Thank you, Janelle. It means you're not standing in a paralytic state, but that you are moving forward, that you have momentum, that you are being mobilized, because anything in the prophetic moves you forward. Come on.
Yes.
It's in my DNA. I told you that the Lord has me here to create champions. And so if we're going to be a champion, we got to move.
Come on.
So this book is all about being able to break through those glass ceilings, to break
Mhm,
through any barriers, any yokes,
Mhm,
any fetters, any
mhm,
chains,
mhm,
break through to a place
mhm.
of liberation,
Yes.
break through to a place of freedom. And so I deal with that invalidation that we dealt with as young people, that attacked our self-concept. Come on, our ideal self, our
Mhm.
self-image, and our self-esteem. I took a blow to my self-esteem. I started to wonder, Toyna, do you like yourself? Because what they like about you, they don't like about you. And so
Uh-huh.
for Toyinda to self-adjust, that means that I have to modify communication. Now, if this is a personal thing, that's something else. If you're not secure in you and you want me to shrink, that's something else.
Right.
But if it's something that Toyinda needs to do to modify her communication, I can flow that way. So
Mhm.
I deal with invalidation to help you to really understand. Listen, you gotta be in alignment with that self concept, because that self concept it'll stop you. It'll stop you from moving forward, for taking risks, for even believing what the Lord has said over your life. I also deal with in the book just being able to reframe fear and understand that fear it'll cause you to not move, but then it'll also cause you to not be in a creative space if there's too much going on. So you can't create. And remember, I said we are a fresh creating. I
Mhm.
got that from this conference. This my apostolic mentor and the entire Renewal Center. We had a fifth prophetic gathering, and Dr. Spake talked about how we are a fresh creating. So in the
Mhm.
beginning, God created, and so it'll stop you if you have too much fear going on. It stops the creativity in your brain. It literally is a block in your brain that happens. So I talk a little bit about that and what I read in some of the medical articles, and then the insight from that in terms of that. But this book really, I give you also strategy for creating a strategic life plan. And then I share
Mhm.
with you our proprietary coaching model that we use in our coach certification and facilitation program. So I'm sharing, remember, I talked about the structure.
Right.
I'm giving you a structure to follow so that you can coach yourself when your prophet's not there, so that you can coach yourself when your intercessor, your trusted advisor, your mentor, your coach is not there.
Mhm.
You've got
Mhm.
to be able to pull yourself out so that you can move forward.
Awesome, awesome. And I heard you talking a lot about self and self-esteem, and in your books, I saw a word you kept saying was self-efficacy. What is that,
Absolutely.
and why is that important?
Absolutely. So there was a researcher in the past. His name was Albert Bandura,
Mhm.
and he coined the term self-efficacy, and
Mhm.
self-efficacy is one's belief about one's ability to progress, to complete a task, to move forward. And your self efficacy, then how you believe, what you believe about yourself, then you're going to respond to. So if you have a low self efficacy, when I say, hey, you can write the book, you're going to think, no, I can't, right? Because you're probably
Mhm.
thinking about a textbook. I write handbooks, right? So you're thinking
Mhm.
about a textbook and you won't do it. So your behavior, your feelings, your thoughts begin to line up with the level of
Mhm.
what you believe about your ability to do a thing. It lines up. So if you believe you can do it, you're going for it. And you're
Mhm.
going to listen, enlist the help of people who are going to help you get there.
Mhm.
If you don't believe you can do a thing, you're not going to do it. And you're going to have these limiting beliefs about what you cannot do. As an example, people say, oh, I've always wanted to start a business, but I can't afford it. And so I asked them, how much does it cost? And they tell me they didn't know. So you can't
Mm.
make a judgment call on something you don't have all of the details. We've got to make informed decisions.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, data informed decisions. So I have to deal with that with some individuals. It's very important. So that's what self-efficacy is what you believe about your ability. And what you believe about your ability can stop you, or it can
Mhm.
propel you forward.
Right. So how we think and how we think about ourselves. Wow, wow.
About your ability to
To
do,
do
your
something.
ability to do.
Yes. Okay, well, man, we are coming near the end, but I want you to give us maybe some final thoughts that you definitely want people to walk away knowing and remembering and thinking about.
Okay, so I'll just say this, it's important for us to embark on your path without seeking validation, or having some type of motivation from others, because motivation is internal. Motivation means you're moved to action. So I can't motivate you. I can inspire you to action. So go forward and pursue your goals fearlessly and earnestly so that you can achieve, right? So achievement and you emerging, that's going to naturally happen. And in essence, I'm just simply saying, take the initiative to improve on where you may have gaps and make the commitment through action. Action is required at every single phase of what we're doing. Action is required. So you have to be able to do the work, but you have to know what work you're called to do. I hope that helped.
That
Don't wait
did,
for
that did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was something else that I heard you saying. You were talking about how we show up, basically how we speak to others. Do we have to adapt? Do our vocabulary have to change in a certain setting? And how people talking to people in ways that they can hear. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Absolutely. So there are like 4 personality styles, and even beyond that, let me go this way. So I am certified in what's called Berkman. And Berkman is a talent assessment. But what I like about Berkman is that it shares with you the needs of other people. So most often than not, the type of environment we need, how we believe people should deal with us, work with us, that's our needs. And so that assessment shares with individuals what you really need in environments, and that need has to be communicated. So for example, I'm a very direct person, but there are individuals who are very suggestive. And so if I come to you very direct, you're going to cringe and pull back because you're more suggesting, I think we should do this. And then I'm saying we should do this. Right? I'm not,
Right.
no, I don't think we should do it. We should do it. But the person who says, I think we should do it, really does mean we should do it. But their communication style is more suggesting. And so you have to understand who you are around. You have to know the people around you to have a clear understanding, especially in a work environment, especially in ministry, right? Especially in your home and in family.
Right.
See, I know what type of children I have. My son is very spontaneous. And so I have to get with him early. And then I have to get with him late because he's very spontaneous. And he's like, okay, let's just do it. And it's like, wait a minute, you didn't tell me you needed to do, So he's very spontaneous. But with spontaneous, it's persuasive, it's competitiveness, it's creativity. He would be the person that I would send into the business meeting, seal the deal. I'm the person that has itemized the deal. I've structured it. It is in order, and you send him in to do that. What I know about my daughter is that she's very analytical. She's very research oriented. So she's the one that I would say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about. Can you find something that's going to substantiate and support this? So you have to understand who is in your space and modify for them. So that means that you have the ability to speak in the language of the listener and listen in the language of the speaker.
Wow.
Very important.
That's powerful.
Very, yeah.
Because most time we're just talking to people, and if you don't have that education, you don't recognize. And so
Right.
I think that's a powerful tool. So you have given us just so very much. Like I said, you guys, if you were not taking notes, I don't know what to say, because I'm going back through and I'm going to take some notes, and I have all 3 of your books. And
Thank you.
I've got through the first one that I have to go back through, and
Gotta
I'm
go back and
on
do
the
the
second
work.
one. Yes, because I got to do more work because I jotted down some things, but you said be specific, so I have to go back and be specific.
Yes. Yes.
So this has been amazing. I really, really
Thank you.
appreciate you and
Thank
of
you so
all the
much.
things that you can be doing. And you're in a business environment and you've taken the time out to come on Eyewitness. We really, really, truly appreciate you.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. God's will and my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Awesome. And tell people one more time how they can get a hold of you, how they can follow you, how they can, we did put it up there, how they can get your books.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you can follow me on all social media platforms, including Clubhouse. And for the business owners, we do a prayer every Thursday morning at 6 a.m. in Clubhouse at the coaching seat. Come into that room because it's powerful prayers on how we are to expand the kingdom with our economics, right? With the financial. And we pray that the Lord comes in and gives us the strategy and the ideas. But that's every Thursday morning, 6 a.m. in Clubhouse. But I'm on social media platforms at the coaching seat. At the coaching seat. If you're looking for my ministry followings, it's at Toyinda Lachey Ministries, and you can find that on my page. I'll go back and drop it into this feed soon. But Toyinda Lachey Ministries, and then my website is thecoachingseat.com, and then my other website is ToyindaLacheyMinistries.com. So follow me. Also, let me give you this. We have a text community. And so if you text the word the coaching seat, is you got to make it one word, the coaching seat, one word, to the number 833 567 4252, then you will get all of our learning information, our teachings, and you'll understand what we have going on in terms of conferences and summits. So it's the coaching seat, one word, and you text that word to 833 567 4252.
All righty.
Thank you for putting that in there. Yes, thank you so
Yes.
much for putting that in there.
Awesome. So this was Power Pack Empowering. I thank you so very much. I look forward to some kind of way connecting with you again.
Yes,
And God bless you in everything that you put your hands to.
I receive it. Thank you, Lord.
All right. And to everyone that commented, we appreciate you. Thank you for showing up today. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.